One room, a handful of artists and associates, a meeting that was supposed to settle business matters. But according to federal prosecutors, what happened that day may have been far more serious than anyone expected. What began as a routine discussion has now turned into a major legal case involving Gucci Mane, Pooh Shiesty, Big 30, and several others. Investigators claim the incident took place on January 10th, 2026 in Dallas, Texas. According to reports, Gucci Mane arrived in the city earlier that afternoon, accompanied by members of his security team. The purpose of his trip was said to be a scheduled sit-down with Pooh Shiesty, whose real name is Lontrell Williams Jr. The topic on the table, a business disagreement tied to Gucci Mane's record label, 1017. Prosecutors say Pooh Shiesty was seeking a way out of his contract. On paper, it seemed like a straightforward negotiation, but the situation reportedly began to feel unusual almost immediately. When Gucci Mane and his team first arrived at the studio location, they allegedly found the building closed. Instead of canceling, they left briefly, purchased drinks, and returned later once access was granted. Authorities claim surveillance footage captured Lontrell Williams Sr. helping coordinate entry into the building before the group gathered inside. That's when things allegedly started to escalate. According to federal agents, Gucci Mane was guided into a private recording room along with Pooh Shiesty to discuss the contract issue. Meanwhile, other individuals, including members of Gucci's team, remained in a separate control room, reportedly watching a football game and waiting for the meeting to conclude. But prosecutors say the private conversation didn't stay calm for long. What was supposed to be a negotiation allegedly turned into a heated argument over paperwork and release terms. Then comes the most serious claim. Authorities allege that during the argument, Pooh Shiesty instructed Big 30, also identified as Rodney Wright Jr., to retrieve a bag. Inside that bag, prosecutors claim was a firearm described as an AK-style pistol. Investigators say the weapon was then used to threaten Gucci Mane and pressure him into signing documents that would release Pooh Shiesty from his contract. If those allegations hold up in court, they could significantly impact the case. Prosecutors also claim that the moment when Gucci Mane allegedly signed the paperwork under pressure was recorded. However, that supposed video has not been recovered. Investigators told the court that the phone believed to contain the footage was destroyed, leaving a key piece of evidence missing. That missing recording has become a major point of debate. Defense attorneys have strongly challenged the prosecution's version of events. They argue that the case contains inconsistencies and lacks direct visual proof. According to them, there is no surveillance footage clearly showing anyone being forced to sign documents or threatened with a weapon inside the studio. Despite that, prosecutors insist their case does not rely on a single piece of evidence. They point to witness statements claiming that after the private meeting ended, the situation inside the studio became even more chaotic. Several individuals in the control room reportedly said firearms were drawn, and they were robbed of valuables including jewelry, cash, and personal belongings. One person claimed to have been physically assaulted, while others said they were prevented from leaving the room. Authorities also allege that Gucci Mane's security team attempted to intervene, but were unable to enter the studio area because access was blocked. Beyond witness accounts, investigators say they have gathered additional supporting evidence. Surveillance cameras outside the building reportedly captured multiple vehicles leaving shortly after the alleged incident. These vehicles included a white Buick Enclave, a black Dodge Charger Hellcat, and a black Dodge Ram. Prosecutors claim at least one of those vehicles is connected to Pooh Shiesty's father. They also presented cell phone data that allegedly places several of the accused individuals near the scene around the time of the incident. The evidence trail doesn't stop there. According to authorities, hotel records show that some of the suspects stayed together following the incident. Surveillance footage from the hotel reportedly captured individuals wearing the same clothing seen earlier that day. Investigators also claim that fingerprints were recovered from items left behind in the studio, including disposable cups. Taken together, prosecutors argue that this combination of physical evidence, digital data, and witness testimony establishes probable cause to move forward with the case. During early hearings, bond was granted to Pooh Shiesty's father under strict conditions, including home confinement and a substantial financial guarantee. Other defendants, however, remain in ongoing legal battles as the case develops. Adding another layer of complexity, Pooh Shiesty was already serving a 63-month sentence in a separate federal firearms case. Reports suggest he had been approved for home detention prior to this incident, with strict conditions that included not possessing weapons or being around armed individuals. For now, the case remains unresolved. Every individual involved is presumed innocent unless proven guilty in court. Still, the nature of the allegations, combined with the high-profile names and dramatic details has drawn widespread attention. If this case ultimately goes to trial, it could become one of the most closely watched courtroom battles in hip-hop.